10 elite veterans are competing in a variety of physical and mental challenges, and all for a chance at winning $50,000. The Triumph Games will air on CBS Sports Network. It starts Monday. The event challenges warriors in intense competition. And joining me now, one of the competitors in question, William Hansen. Can I call you Bill?
Bill, Big Sarge, whatever you want to call me is great.
Big Sarge. It is to read about these games and to see what it is they ask of athletes of any stripe. It's a remarkable thing to see. How, though, do they test you? To what point are you pushed as you endure them as much as anything? Well,
everybody has different things that they're really good at, and everybody has things that they're really bad at. One of the things is they tested us mentally. They found several of our fears. Like, some of the guys had problems with water, and so we're jumping off a 3-story tower into the water to go swim across the thing. And there's guys there who can't stand, they can't swim, but they jumped into the water no matter what. I have a really bad thing with heights due to my injuries, and we had to zip line off a 100-foot tower down into the Hudson River, and it was pushing us mentally and not just physically. And so it was great.
Your injuries, so let's talk about them.
Sure.
Dating back
2009, I was involved in basically a bad car accident in Iraq. There was an explosion. My driver panicked when he heard the explosion, and we crashed into a brick wall going about 55 miles an hour. When it happened, I pulled down my gunner, and when he came down, he accidentally kicked off my helmet. So when we hit the wall, I didn't have anything on my head, and I smashed my head into the bulletproof glass, and I smashed back. And so I fractured my neck, I fractured my spine, I had a pretty bad traumatic brain injury, I had a brain bleed. And so for me, it was trying to get over those sort of things.
How close to death were you? Certainly paralysis. How is it that you managed to be here now, having had that happen?
Basically, while my time in Iraq, I was powerlifting. I was doing a lot of lifting. I had a 23-inch neck, and the doctors from the VA and the doctors from the Army base, they basically said the fact that you had a 23-inch neck saved your life.
Wow.
They said if it had been the fracture had been another half-inch to the left, I would have been paralyzed or killed.
Now, I know what this has meant for you. I know you know what it means for others. The transition back, which has become really at times the most tragic of puzzles, and while we all attempt to fix it somehow, what was your transition like?
Well, when I came back, I tried to do exactly what they told me to do. I went to the VA, and the VA said, here's a bunch of pills, take them, and that's going to fix you. And so for about 9 months to 12 months, I sat on my couch, I took the pills, and it zoned me out. It made me irritable, it made me extremely moody. I'm a pretty pleasant guy, at least I like to think I am, and I would be irritating at my daughters. And finally one day, my daughter came to me and put my face in her hand and said, "Dad, what's the matter? What's the matter with you? You're not being Dad." And I said, "Hey, I've got to find a way to get off this stuff, because this is not making me be Dad anymore." And so that's what I did, is I went clean, cold turkey. You're not supposed to do that, they say, but for about 2 weeks, I was zoned off. I went off all the drugs, all the medication, and then I started doing fitness things. And I was with an organization. They suggested, "Hey, why don't you try the Tough Mudder?" And I heard it, and I said, "That looks crazy. Let's go do it." And I did it myself I wanted to challenge myself and see if I could do it. And it took me 5.5 hours. It takes most people 3 hours. It took me 5.5 hours. I was about 365 pounds. I was way out of shape. I had been spending a year on the couch, not lifting, not doing anything, and just did it. And for me, it was a mental test to finish. And once I finished, then I was like, okay, what can I do now? What can I do now? And that got me into what I found is my life passion now, is I help vets and other people, also other civilians, but I help vets who are having problems reiterating back home to do things that are a big challenge. and I challenge them in different things in their lives. I say, hey, so do you want to do a strongman competition? Okay, let's start working on that. Hey, you want to do a century bike ride? Let's try and how are we going to get you to so you can do that? And in our classes, in my work, once you start working out, you know this as a guy, guys are not going to want to sit around and talk. But you start working out, things start flowing out of your mouth that normally don't happen because you feel comfortable. You're at that comfort zone, and so
and
that's
the endorphin rush.
The endorphin rush, everything that's going on. So you feel more comfortable talking about these sort of things, and you'll have a guy be lifting with it, and all of a sudden, man, I had a bad day yesterday, and you can talk to him about, oh, so what happened? What's going on? So how are you sleeping? And then my whole thing is, what did you do to fix it? Did you take some pills? And if they take pills, I kind of give them the look like, dude, what? Yeah. Because I'm very much anti-VA pills, and that's just my whole thing. It's because I've seen way too many guys. That's one of the reasons why they have such high vet suicide, in my opinion, is because you take so many of these pills and they countermand each other, and they don't know, okay, so if I take this pill with this pill, what's going to happen?
Well, something needs to be done.
Exactly.
At a very basic and fundamental level. The suicide rates are unacceptable, and every little bit helps for you, and I know for those you touch. And I can't thank you enough.
No problem
for being here, Big Sarge.
Thank you so very much.
I've got a favorite. He's one of 10. Does he get it done? Does the old man run with the young guns and do it? Yeah, we'll have to tune in and find out. Be sure to do that. It's the 2016 Triumph Games. It's a mini-series. It airs on CBS Sports Network Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern. It begins on October 31st, Halloween, for 3 weeks. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.